Hello everyone, it's Rider here, and I'm here to do a knockoff Transformers review. This is an item that I picked up maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago from Transformers Direct. It is Hot Soldiers Soundtracks, I think his name is, with Lazerbird. Yeah. So let's have a look at the packaging first. You can see this looks like the reissue boxes that they did in the... I don't even know when they were. But the original Generation 1 reissue boxes. Nice artwork, very reminiscent of the Soundwave version of that. On the back is more a traditional Generation 1 look with the Hot Soldiers taking the Transformers text. On the back you got HS03 and Lazerbird is 04, as you can see there. Yeah, I don't know who 01 and 02 were. 05 and 06 were obviously Rat Bat and Soundboard or Sound Blaster. So, I'm not really quite sure. But it's got G1 style there. It's a really cool looking box, to be honest with you. I don't tend to keep my knockoff boxes, but I might keep this one. It's pretty cool. So inside the box you get a plastic clamshell with a black backing, which keeps Soundwave, or what was his name, Soundtrack in place. Decent plastic quality. You get an instruction sheet, which really you don't need, it's very simple. Very G1 looking instructions, look at that. Very reminiscent of the original Soundwave instruction sheet and all the G1 Transformers. So yeah, that's quite cool. You get 2 collector's cards. You get Soundtrack and you get Laser Scout. And they're like this credit card material. Pretty good. Cool that you get the 2 of them as well, that's pretty good. And you also get 2 of these silver parts, which make the end of Soundwave's blaster. One of them's attached to the figure now. And you also get a blue version of it. So that's everything that's in the box apart from the figure. So let's take a look at it. And here is Soundtracks himself. It's a very, very cool looking figure. It's got a couple of issues on it, but you can let it go for the size of this thing. I mean, it is really, really tiny. So let's kick off with articulation, shall we? Let's remove all his weapons so we can see properly. So his head can go up and it can go down, and it can do a full 360 on a ball joint that is a little bit loose, but not loose enough to wobble. In fact, the figure himself does not wobble at all. Arms and shoulders are on a ball joint and can do a full 360. They can also move out 90 degrees. You get a bend at the elbow. There's no wrist swivel, but you can go slightly down and make him slightly camp looking because of the transformation movements. No waist swivel. You can do the full Van Damme, which is pretty cool. You can move his leg all the way forwards about 90 degrees and back all the way 90 degrees. You get a knee bend and you can move the feet up and down, but there is no pivot on the ankles in order to give him a decent A stance. You do get his traditional blaster, which clips onto a peg on the shoulder. Now I will show you the mark on the shoulder that I've got. So a couple of blemishes I've got on here is I've got a little bit of silver paint there, and I've got a little bit of a chip right there, which isn't that noticeable. I might try and touch that bit up, but the rest of him is pretty cool. Can't see any other problems with it. A little bit of blue coming through there on the back part, but it's fine. For the size of the figure, it doesn't really matter. Now, as I was saying, you can tab his shoulder piece in there. There's one of those silver pieces attached to the end of the weapon. That does come out. And you can put a clear version if you do wish. I don't know why you would, because it doesn't really go with the rest of the figure. And then you can put that gun in his hand like so. You can eject to open up his chest piece and take his cassette out, which is of course Lazerbird, or Lazerbeak as we know him. So the detail on the cassette from there, see his head and his feet. On the other side you can see his back part. Now all you do to transfer this is pull the wings out. I'm going to have to get a little knife in because getting his head out is a little bit difficult. But that is essentially Lazerbird in his condor mode. Very cool little thing. Very, very cool little thing. So one question that I know I asked when I opened it out of the box is, can you get him to kind of press his eject button here? And the answer to that is no. You can't do it. He's pretty well articulated for such a little dude, but he's not that articulated. So shall we transform him? I'll try and do it on camera for you. First thing you need to do is take off his gun, take off the end piece and reverse it in itself, pop that to one side, take his shoulder piece off, pop that to one side. Now these pieces become pretty key later on. You take his head, twist it round, you fold it back. You take these arms, rotate them back, then rotate the hands inwards, and his hands clip on these pegs here. The feet piece move up and fold back in. Now, I don't know whether you transform him like that, leaving this part visible, but what I tend to do, rightly or wrongly, is put that forward like that. There is a hip swivel as well. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Swivel that round and then tab this piece in like that, which gives it a little bit of a cleaner front. So let's do that again here. I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked at the transformation in the instructions. The first time I took the instructions out of the bag was when I just showed them to you. So I don't know if this is the official transformation. I will check. But I think that looks a little bit cleaner than having these parts at the front. There you go. But there he is in his cassette player mode. How awesome is this little thing? Now, it will not, you need to take this for granted, he will not stand up. He's a little bit back heavy until you attach his weapons to the back. And these act as kind of a stand for him. Let's put those on there like so. And that will allow him to balance and stand a little bit easier. Let's put Condor. Or Condor? What third party version was that? Is that a new one that's coming out, next Transbots one? Lazerbird. Let's pop him back inside. The button doesn't work, by the way. You just have to push the door open. Pop Lazerbird back inside there. And there he is in full on his cassette mode. Such a cool toy for the money. I cannot recommend this thing enough. It is absolutely fantastic. So size comparison wise, here he is next to Wei Zhang RC. So you can see how small it is. Actually scales really well with masterpieces in this mode. So obviously there's mass shifting with Soundwave, and I think that it looks pretty cool to have him in that mode. Not quite to scale, but you see my point. It's cool to have him smaller. Here he is next to Titan's Return Bumblebee, and here he is next to him in robot mode. Yeah, just a bit bigger than a Legends size figure. But if we take a deluxe, definitely smaller than a deluxe. He scales really well with the, I forget, is it Mech Fan Toys Galvatron? The DX9KO scales really, really well with him. Not quite so well with their version of Iron Factory's Ultra Magnus. Or maybe it does, maybe you like Ultra Magnus to be a bit bigger, I'm not sure, but the scale's not quite there with this guy in my opinion. So would I recommend this guy? Absolutely. What's the plastic quality like? As good, if not better, than anything that Hasbro do in the normal mainline figures. Is it worth the money? Absolutely yes. This cost me around about $20 on TF Direct. So what's that, about £16-17? Well worth it. Kapow Toys have these guys on there for £15 plus postage, so you can get that one. If you want one from the UK, you can get it a little bit, paying a little bit more than TF Direct, but you'll get it shipped from the UK, so it's up to you. But I'd pay £20 for this guy. He's a pretty good figure. Plastic quality is great, as I say. Paintwork has a few marks here and there, but overall good. Joints really, really tight. He's worth the money.